Now, in the month of ER marks the Hilula of a very famous Yemenite rabbi, a rabbi we've mentioned about on various occasions before in this series. His name was Harab Shalom Saalem Mansura, Zecher Tzadik Libracha. Also, the title, he could be titled by Maari as first initials. He lived between the years 1800 to 1884. He was a great Yemenite rabbi. We're not sure exactly the date of his Hilula in Iyar, but it's reported over he did pass away in the month of Iyar. Some people will mark his Hilula reported over on the 15th of Iyar, respectively, for one reason or another. I'll have to confirm on why. Let's explore a few of the highlights of the famous rabbis like him. Great heritage, great family heritage. Father's name was Yehuda ben Saalem Mansura, and they happened to be from the famous area of Sana'a. Let's say it was a great Jewish square in of itself in Teman, in Yemen, respectively, over there. And remember, in that place, we mentioned about various occasions before, there was a great Jewish community. While he was young, he would study Torah with his father. He learned, actually, interesting enough, he would learn Torah also under the auspices of another famous rabbi mentioned about on various occasions before, Maari Avram Alevi al-Sheikh, another great rabbi of the Yemen time period in of itself. I believe he was actually in charge, let's just say, this great rabbi, within regards to the coin of the imam, I think, of Teman, of Yemen, respectively. This was a very, very famous, let's say, he was like the main Islamic leadership position in that specific vicinity in of itself. Now, he had various closenesses to monarchy in general. And it's reported over that because of his closeness to the kingship over there, he was appointed, let's say, in a position to collect the jizya. As they say, what is this? I think it's a specific form of tax or poll tax, as they say, that I think had to be given to the Muslim ruler. It was actually imposed, I think, from the Muslim government in Yemen on non-Muslim peoples that lived inside that specific area. Now, it's actually reported his name is going to appear, I think, in the document on the text of Kislev, Heitav Kuf Tzadik Aleph in 1831, respectively. And I recommend everyone to learn that about that. He was about 30 years of age at that point in time. So he was very, very much regarded by people in Yemen in the general vicinity, not just among the Jewish people. I think come what year 1835 now, he would be appointed, I believe, chosen through another Rabbi, Rabbi Yosef Kara. I believe he's a rabbi, I think, that we mentioned about on various occasions before. He was a Rosh Abedin, I think, in Teman in his time in Sana'a, and very much part of the Jewish court of Sana'a. To be part, and through the Bet Din also, respectively, he'll be to represent and embark on trips among the other communities of Yemen, to visit other communities over there. To, for example, he'll have various different tasks, including within the Shechita field, kosher slaughter field. And he would be giving rabbinic ordinations and certificates, let's just say, appointments to various different people that could perform shechita and other prestigious positions for the Jewish life cycle, a Torah Jewish life cycle in of itself. Now, it's also reported over that he would deal within regards to refuah, also, which is medicine in the medicine field, natural medicines. He was very much in, let's say, spending time within regards to that. And he was studying, I believe, also Kabbalah. Now, it's actually interesting. Rabbi Yaakov Safir, who was a famous, I think, Russian rabbi, visited Teman famously in the 1859 and really wrote about him, let's just say, high praise. I'll say it in Hebrew. Rosh hayoatzim, ish chacham u'pursam, lehem Maari Salam, Mansura, really speaking about how much of a great person he was, how he was a great advisor, what a great Talmid Chacham he was in of itself, and how much he qualified he was in his position. And he was, I believe, also the prestigiousness within regards to Rav Maari. He would actually be an advisor also to the king. That's how great Rav Mansura was, respectively. Now, let's explore a bit about his family life. His brother, I think, was a Meshurar, was a famous poet. I think his name was Rav Saadia Mansura, a rabbi also, I think we mentioned about on various occasions before. He had famous poems, several famous poems, that I think some of them were printed and respectively in the various different places. I think a part of it was found in, let's say, Dionim, over here, various different Dionim, respectively. And I think he would have a colossal work called the Hagalot Vagula, I think, which was a great, great work. Let's say, I think it was the last collection in Yemen with regards to, let's just say, it's Hamak Amot. I think it's which came out through that specific publication in of itself, respectively. Now, it's actually interesting. Rav Shalom would have two outstanding sons. Their names was, respectively, Rav Yaish and Rav Shlomo. I believe it's reported over they passed away young, and he had three daughters. Now, one of his daughters married a famous rabbi. His name was Rav Moshe Yitzchak Halevi. And he happened to become he was the father of Rabbi Yechia Yitzchak Halevi, who had gone to become the head rabbi of Teman. So he'd end up with really, really famous and great descendants, respectively. Now, he wrote Torah colossal works. Let's explore some of the great work he did, including Ner Mitzvah. This was a book which, let's just say, had different reasonings and teachings, novelties with regards to the Torah. And very, very great book in of itself. I think part of the book, if I'm not mistaken, the whereabouts was not specifically well known, but it was a great book. Then there was Zivchei Todah. This book comprised, let's just say, within regards to laws and commentaries, within regards to Shechita field, the kosher slaughter field, based on the code of Jewish law, respectively, and also the Matanot Kahuna, Matanot Kohanim, the presents for the priests, let's just say. And I think had a connection very much to the Maharitz, respectively, also. Then there was the Shlomei Chagiga, which is various different laws pertaining to the laws of Shechita on the Rambam, respectively. And then there's a big Zevach, which is a Chiber on the laws of Shechita and Shrifot. And then once again, that was, I think, connected to Rav Yosef Kara, respectively, who happened to be the Rosh Abed in his time. Then there was the Seder Nisuim B'Lechotehem, and also the Harod LeSefer Pri Chadash, which was another outstanding book. If I'm not mistaken, maybe that was printed in America, in New York. I'm not too sure. Harod LeShut Haradbaz was Shelot Shuvot book, questions and answers of the Radbaz, which was, once again, I think came out maybe through the time of Rav Yosef Kapach, if I'm not mistaken. Rav Yosef Kapach was one of the famous Yemenite rabbis of the last 100 years, without doubt. Then there was Chochmah B'Tubuna. Once again, Shelot Shuvot book, outstanding book in of itself. And then there was Shemitah Shvi'it, which was on the Geula, the redemption, respectively. Various different songs, as we said before. Now it's Ashura Shi Le'el Chai, which was a song of prayer, let's say, which would come out, I think, in the year 9, maybe it would have a printing in 1995. Ka'al al-Adiv, alala al-Akhbar, ho'adi tzana kol shi b'daber, which was, I think, in manuscript form. And Haftot B'Yeshua, that was another great, let's just say, timing in of itself. Now, let's explore a few more interesting tidbits within regards to the great rabbi. He was very much well connected to kingship, to royalty over there. Which has to also be pointed out. Many of these publications of his, I think, were printed or reprinted at later times in the time period of the Jewish history. And various articles were published, I think, in various other places, especially most recently in 2011, if I'm not mistaken. Now, as we stated at the onset, we're not sure the exact date of his Hilula. It's reported that he was buried in the Jewish cemetery in Sana'a, the place he actually came from. And we're not too sure exactly the date the great rabbi had passed away. He was, I think, also in the year 1854, he was elected as a governor of the Jewish people and a representative of the Jewish communities before the authorities. And I would recommend everyone to learn about let's say, when Rabbi Yaakov Sapir, the great famous Shluchei Rabbanan from Europe, she came, and they would actually correspond with each other. Now, friends, we're a community here. We're learning about the great Oriental rabbis. Yes, year over here inside this. We've already covered nearly 900 great Chachamim of yesteryear. In this series, we are concentrating mostly on North African rabbis and rabbis from the Spanish vicinities, respectively, over here. If you descend from any of the great Rabbanim that we are speaking about, please let me know. I would love to hear more within regards to them. It would be fantastic to have some great feedback. If you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, please subscribe now. We are coming close to 7,000 subscribers, one of the largest, let's say, online portals with regards to information on the great Chachamim of yesteryear. Now, if you feel anyone is interested in watching any of these videos, please share the videos to other people also, and we'll grow this community from strength to strength. Now, friends, we've really covered about in this series at least 50 rabbis that actually came from, spent time in Yemen. If I haven't covered any of the rabbis yet that you feel should be covered, please write me a comment or send me an email. Also, I'd like to include as much of a sphere as possible of the great Chachamim of yesteryear. So wishing you all a Shabbat Shalom. We're recording this just before the double parashiyot of Acharei Mot and Kedoshim here in Israel. So have a meaningful one. And I recommend everyone, if you find any history books on the great rabbis, make a great read to read it, especially on Shabbat. Share the stories with your children. They actually say that on Motzei Shabbat itself, after Shabbat itself, it's an auspicious time to say over various different stories within regards to the greatness of the righteous people, especially of yesteryear. Many people will say stories of Baal Shem Tov, but we don't need to. We could also go on and go over these videos that we've done and collect the various stories I've already said and share it with your families over here, because what a community does, we share with each other, people, other wisdom. And that's what we're trying to grow over here. So wishing you well, and please subscribe now. Take care and Shabbat Shalom. Thanks. Thank you very much.